This is one of those more odd pursuits that we have watched here on Eyewitness News, because this driver in very tinted windows, so you don't actually know how many people are inside this vehicle.
Yeah, that's the problem too, I think, for officers, is that they don't know how many people are in there, if they're armed, if they're dangerous, if they're, completely intoxicated. It's hard to say, but just to watch this, I think that bumper's going to go off any second now.
Do you see the hand, Ellen, going outside the window?
There you go.
But are they waving?
Yeah,
they're going to try to give up? Because I would think that it must be really hard to pull over when you're driving on the rims.
You just need to slow down, right?
I don't have any experience of driving on rims, but...
The video shows a broken car that is being chased by the cops. But what has the driver done? Why is he still on with chasing when he knows his plan is going to fail? The car, as shown, is complete with ruptured tires and broken bumpers.
I thought for a second they might be coming to a stop. What a sight that must see of people, on the street wondering what is happening.
Well, they're looking like it's possibly going to the shoulder, Ellen, but
let's hope so.
Just can't figure out if that driver is driving very well. I mean, seems like kind of driving straight for someone who who's suspected of driving under the influence.
There he goes waving again. We're not sure what kind of signal he's sending out, but hopefully it's not.
I don't know. Is it a distress call? Is he saying? Who knows? You can't tell, but one would assume he probably has a cell phone, so maybe one of his family members or friends are talking to authorities too.
In the quiet outskirts of the Antelope Valley near Acton, an event unfolded that would leave the community in awe. It all began on a fateful Friday afternoon when Deputy Armando Vieira Jr. of the Sheriff's Information Bureau received reports of a suspected reckless driver. The individual was believed to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs, raising the stakes and urgency of the situation. Just before 3 p.m., the pursuit commenced in the vicinity of the Antelope Valley Freeway and Angeles Crest Highway. The driver, later identified as Robert Rivera from San Bernardino, seemed oblivious to the gravity of his actions. The slow-speed chase ensued, with the suspect's vehicle crawling along at a snail's pace, sometimes barely reaching speeds of 5 miles per hour. It resembled a peculiar parade, with a string of sheriff's vehicles trailing behind in an attempt to apprehend him.
Car that's driving on the rims.
I think our producer just said it's Peaceful Valley Road, and look at all that dust. Unless that's smoke, I'm pretty sure it's dust, but who knows?
I think it's
just a big mess.
Peaceful Valley Road, not very peaceful right now.
So, and you can imagine the desperation this person must be feeling to try to get away under those circumstances.
They can't be thinking clearly.
And here he is sort of kind of tapping on those.
But you cannot tell, are you trying to say something? Roll down I think this is probably...
As observers witnessed the peculiar occurrence, they did so with a mixture of curiosity and anxiety. Despite the fact that there does not appear to be any traffic in the area, it gave rise to worries on every front. At one point, the vehicle travels over a difficult route, and dust begins to fly everywhere. Nonetheless, some people are under the impression that smoke is emanating from the vehicle.
On rims, I know you do lots of training in different driving situations. I mean, right now, this car is trying to get up the hill. It's almost as if it's in snow, where it can't get traction. So looks like he's surrendering.
Yeah, I can see he's moving slowly. I'm watching what you're watching. It's difficult. Unfortunately, these cars are very well built, so they can take quite a bit of abuse.
And right now, they are just going to stay guarded behind their doors with their guns drawn. He rolls down his window, then he rolls it back up, and he rolls it down. We're not sure what he's thinking.
What kind of, right now, for the protocol of the officers there, what is it that they're trying to assess?
Well, there's several things we have to consider. The first of which, most importantly, obviously, is the officer's safety for the deputies on scene. So they're doing right now. They're trying to conduct is what's called a felony traffic stop. So they're going to try to control the rapidly moving, uncertain traffic stop and try to detain the suspect without hopefully anybody being hurt.
We see the officer at the top of the screen with a yellow. Is that a beanbag type of or a taser?
The car eventually comes to a stop after cops have been after it for many hours, and all the officers draw a gun. As the chase meandered its way through the sprawling landscape, it finally reached a climactic end at Peaceful Valley and Forest View Roads, west of the freeway. By this time, the suspect's vehicle had fallen victim to a strategically placed spike strip, deflating at least 3 of its tires. However, the apprehension was far from over. After this, cops seemed to conduct the felony traffic stop so that no one was hurt. As can be seen, all the police officers have huddled together behind one car in order to protect themselves and to be prepared for anything that could take place. Even yet, the driver has not emerged from the vehicle. At this same time, one officer is attempting to approach him from the opposite side, and he is sitting there with his gun pulled at the window of the car. But even so, would this be of any use to them? Will he come out this time? At this point, the driver seems to be negotiating with the cops, but we don't think it'll yield any result. Refusing to surrender, Robert Rivera barricaded himself inside his disabled car. The standoff had begun, leaving law enforcement officials to grapple with the challenging task of bringing the situation to a peaceful resolution. Their attempts to coax him out, deputies fired projectiles into the vehicle, hoping to dissuade the defiant driver. At one point, the driver seemed to throw what appeared to be money out of the window of his car, which caused the situation to take an unanticipated turn for the worst. It swayed in the breeze, leaving onlookers bewildered and adding a peculiar turn of events in the growth scenario. At this time, it would appear that the police are making an effort to pull back since they are not seeing any results. With each passing moment, tensions mounted and the need for decisive intervention grew apparent. A SWAT team armed with an imposing armored vehicle arrived at the scene. Their specialized training and equipment offered a glimmer of hope in what had become a dangerous and protracted ordeal. The SWAT team swiftly devised a plan to neutralize the situation and minimize harm to both the suspect and the surrounding community. They coordinated their efforts, employing a combination of negotiation tactics and tactical maneuvers to subdue the resistant driver. Patiently, they engaged in dialogue, imploring Robert Rivera to reconsider his actions and surrender peacefully. After what felt like an eternity, the breakthrough they had hoped for materialized. The suspect, worn down by the mounting pressure, relinquished his resistance. At approximately 5:30 p.m., Robert Rivera was finally taken into custody, his reckless journey reaching its ultimate conclusion. Deputy Armando Vieira Jr. emphasized the importance of medical clearance before booking, underscoring the commitment to treating all individuals, even those engaged in unlawful behavior, with the necessary care and attention.